Hey everyone, this is Julie with Jules of Tyler. Welcome to my channel. And today is the day that I will be doing a flip through of my giveaway journal. If you remember last week's video, I said that I had reached 500 subscribers to my channel. And for a celebration, I wanted to make a journal and have a drawing and give it away to one of my U.S. subscribers. I won't be able to mail outside the U.S. Right now because of all the new fees and everything, but this will be for my U.S. subscribers, and all you'll need to do is subscribe to my channel and then comment that you are a subscriber. I can't see all the subscribers on my list, but most of them are there, but I know that they're all not there. So if you will just say you're a subby or something like that, then I will know to put your name down. And then on Tuesday, I guess around 3 o'clock, I will have a drawing, and that'll give everyone time to see my video, because I know, everybody doesn't look at YouTube every day. So this will give everybody a couple days to watch the video and see that it's a drawing, and then subscribe, and then comment that they are a subscriber, and then I will have that drawing. So anyway, let me tell you a little bit about it. This is a Valentine / sewing journal, and I've got lots of each in here, and it's just a fun little journal. It's only about 1 inch thick, at least that's what the spine is, and it is 64 pages, and it's approximately 8 by 5 1/4 on the size, okay? And I've got a ribbon enclosure here, and just a few little ribbons sticking up here, and then I've got a little tassel right here, okay? And then I've got a lot of little goodies to go along with it, and I'll show you that at the end, okay? So let me move this aside, and we'll jump right on in here. Okay, this is attached with an eyelet and a little clip, and you can take that off. And I've got different things here that are fun, little ribbons, little charms. I've got beads, I've got buttons, I got little bobbins, I got some thimbles, and some little fluffy balls. I don't know what you call those, but they're fluffy and they're balls, so hey. Let's see, I got some little gumball charms in here. Some just little beads. And this is one of those little needle threaders. So just a lot of little fun things here. And you don't have to use it if you don't want to, but it will be included. Okay. Okay, I did treat this with a varnish, not a varnish, but you know what I'm talking about. I talked about it last time. It's a little spray sealer. That's what it is. And it's a flat sealer, so you really can't tell. Now, there is a little spot here, and I debated on putting different things there. So I did include those things that I thought about in case you wanted to do that, but I thought, that'd be something you might want to do or might not want to do. I just didn't want to, do anything else to it. I thought it looked perfect the way it is because, these are, I think, from the 60s. I didn't have a date on this, but I might have chopped it off before I looked. But most of mine are from around the 60s. So anyway, they're a real cute little red dress. That's why I picked that one. And I have some little Valentine fabric for the spine. And then if we open it up on the inside cover, I've got scrapbooking paper. I've got some rickrack. And I've got a vintage Valentine right here on top of a white doily with a little pocket. And then I made this little tag here, and it's with fabric that I've sewn on here. And this was a little Valentine ladybug design of fabric. And there's a little heart button. And this is a place for you to journal on. This first page here is a napkin that I ironed onto freezer paper. And that's what that is. This second page here is vellum, and I cut this heart out of my Cricut and I glued it on here. Here is a clear page pocket that I sewed, and I put a Valentine postcard here. Let's see if this one has a year. Nope, this one does not. And on the back side of that, I have another vintage Valentine. You can tell how old this one is. It's really, really old. I've got music paper, and it's called Making Valentines. This next page here is a digital from KB and Friends, and I just have a few things in here. I've got a vintage seed packet, and I've got some vintage wrapping paper with pretty flowers. Okay. On the other side of the pocket, I have some real pretty digital paper. And I have a vintage Valentine card here. And here is a vintage dictionary page, and it does say Valentine right here. I've got more digital paper. And this is from a measuring tape. And that's just a digital. And this is a vintage ledger page. And here's just a couple of guest checks I thought you might could use. And more digital paper with some mini pom-pom trim. On the other side here, I made a journaling card, and it's out of cardstock, and I cut this from my Cricut, and then used my scallop punch and a digital and some ribbon here. I didn't sew around it because I didn't think anything else needed to be done with this. And this is on top of a little children's book of crafts. So this is a Valentine's Day party that they're preparing for. So they're just giving instructions and for the party. Here's another vintage ledger. And then this is another little crafting book. Here is a yellow graph paper. And most of my colors here are going to be, it's red, pink, blue, and yellow. And that's basically about it. This is a vintage playing card that you could glue down if you wanted to. I just have it right here with this paper clip. There's another little page for the crafting book. And she is sewing on this one. You can see her sewing on the other side. I've got a piece of craft paper, and this is a vintage little packaging for Rick Rack with that cute little girl on there. And you can journal on this or glue it down. It's too big for a pocket on this, but you could definitely make it into something else or put it in another journal. But I wanted to include her because she was really, really cute and really old. And this next page here is the middle of the signature. And this is a music page. You can add something down here if you want to. But this page has a little twirling little heart that's scrapbook paper. You can get a good look at that. And on the inside here, what I've done is I've put lace. It's all been sewn around. And I've got this little pocket here that I have some stickers. let's see here. Got a rabbit, a cat, and ducks. And it's just a tiny little pocket. And here's a larger pocket right here. And I've got a couple of soda labels here with some pinks. Okay, on this next page here, I have an old letter from World War II, and this was a man. He was writing this girl, and they're not girlfriend and boyfriend, but I think he kind of wants to. But I've got about 5 of these, and he's a little older, so I don't know. The letters are a little strange. You know, he keeps on talking about him being older, but her actually reading his letters or something. So I'm not sure whatever happened with this, but it's from 1944. And you can glue this down as a pocket if you wanted to. And then you've got these pages that you could actually use to decorate any journals with if you wanted. Just a couple of pages. I'm not sure where this is from. She's from Dallas, and okay. Of course, we don't probably know where he is. I know that they mail things off, and they're not actually where the little stamp is from. But anyway, she's from Dallas. And I just have some little cute things here. This is from Jen Shares that I've showed you her little buttons that are made from felt. Here's just another page for you to journal on. Here's the other side of the craft paper. And this is the other side of the little craft books. And on here I have this needle book that's pinned down. This is from Marshall, Texas. This is a couple hours away from me. Dallas is a couple hours from me also, but Marshall, I've only been there for a couple of times, and I think it's 2 hours away east of here. But anyway, this one's in really good shape, so I wanted to include this. Most of these, as you probably know, aren't in the greatest of shape, but this one still has almost all the needles and still looks brand new. So I wanted to include this one. Got to have it the right direction. There we go. Here is more graph paper, the other side. And this is an envelope that I made as a flip. And I decorated it with some of the little pattern right here. And some digitals and a doily. And this is just going to open up here. And I've got a couple little vintage things. This is something that was from here, Tyler. And I don't know what year it was, but, it does say 1985. Now I know. But it was for some little sale at a fabric store or something that's talking about Needlecraft House. I do not remember it. I know where Amherst is, but I don't know the store. And this is just something that was hooked to some fabric that I had. Looked pretty neat. And this is from Grand Prairie, Texas. It's not old, but I thought the paper looked really neat, so I think it'd be fun to use. Okay, let's close that back up and just flip that over. And there's the other side of the little craft book. Here's a vintage playing card. Little cutesy girl in the pink. And I've sewn around a whole bunch of pages, and then I have actually punched all the corners and made them rounded. I thought it was a kind of neat look. This is another page here. Love those colors. Little table set up for Valentine's. And this is just a couple stickers I had from one of my scrapbooking kits. And these are a couple of library cards, pink and red. And this is this piece of ledger, or no, is this ledger? Yeah. Okay, I just cut this out with one of my little punches. And here's a little belly band. And I put some hearts with some doily on top and some little cutouts with some buttons. And this is just a bingo card that you can decorate. Okay, other side is the other side of the dictionary paper. And the greeting card. Okay. Okay, here is a copyright on this. So let's see. Okay, so that's 40, 50, 51, I think 1952, when the L is on the right side of the X. So yeah, 40, 45, 40, no, I'm sorry. 47. I'm sorry. It's 1947 on that. And here I have some doilies. And I'll put that back in the pocket. There we go. And this is the other side of the digital that has just a little pattern right here that's cute. And here's a doily right here. You could glue that down if you wanted to, or just leave it like that. This is a library card holder, and I just have a little printable. And this is some wrapping paper that I had, and I glued it down. You can kind of see that. And you can glue this down if you want to. And this is on the other side of that music paper. And here's a paper clip with a little bit of ribbon. This right here is another postcard. And it's a Valentine. Let's see, this is from 1909. And on the back side of it, I have a Victorian calling card. None of them had hearts that I had, but this one was really pretty with the roses that you could glue down if you wanted to. Here's your vellum paper and the other side of the napkin. And here is the back cover, and again I have a vintage Valentine, and this one lifts up here. Very, very old. And here is a tag I made with a sewing pattern glued down. And then I just used a little tab thing from a folder. And there's a little felt from Jen Shares and a little copy of one of my patterns. And it's been sewed around. But you can journal on that. And then the back side, again, is the same scrapbook paper that I used on the front side. And on the back, it's just the back side of the pattern envelope. Okay, let's look through this and then we'll be done. Okay, I've got just a little bit of rickrack to match all the colors. And I've sewn the little fabric ruffles for you if you wanted to add these to this journal or any other. I think everything that's included would probably be a huge, huge journal, so I know you have plenty to use in any other journals of yours. This is a vintage hanky that I'm in love with. Isn't that pretty? Let's see if I can. It's just so dainty. Isn't it pretty? This is just a very pale pink here. Okay, here's a little bag. I thought it would be really cute if you decorated the bag. Okay. And this is some of the things I was thinking about. You know, if you wanted to cover up, I just thought about putting, you know, some fabric or some paper and just, you know, kind of doing something like that. I was trying all different kinds of ways. I couldn't figure it out, and finally it was just like, really, you might not even want anything there. So, that's just what I did, was just trying to find some different papers, or one of them was ribbon on there, and just, see what we could do with it. Little polka dots. You could have fun with it any way you wanted to, but anyway, that's just a thought. Let's put that aside. Okay, then I've got these little envelopes that are made from felt. These just came from Hobby Lobby. They're a little bit bulky, so I don't know if you'd want to use them. I thought about actually, pinning them to some ribbon right here, and I thought they'd be really cute dangling down on the charm. And I've got the end of an old spool of thread. It'll be cute. I've got lots of little printables. The digitals, I think, were KB and Friends, her Valentine. Some are Valentine, some are sewing of hers. So I've got all different little things for you to use. And I know there's probably more. Oh, there is. So let's see. I'll move this over here. Now these are little 1-inch circles, and that's what I used for this little smash bottle cap. So it's just the perfect thing if you have these with the little epoxy little covers here, that it looks good with that. So I've got different ones of those. Little envelope, little girl. Just got some punches of some hearts. More little hearts. It's a little stamp. Okay, put these aside. And this is what I punched out from some scrapbook paper. And this is a little baggie that has little hearts on it. And these are those little, one of my videos I had showed you that I'd use these little tiles, and they're made out of chipboard. And I put, I found the love one, and I did, make them thinner. I put my little blade through there so it wouldn't be so bulky if you did glue it down, okay? But when you make pockets or little things like that, or journaling cards, it turns out really cute with that. Here's an old slide that I found that had the red on here. This is just a digital cat, and I can't remember if I still have this one. I did it one time, or if I gave it away. Just never know. I haven't seen it lately, so I think I gave it away. Okay, right here is just a couple stickers, Valentine stickers. This is just a little bit of thread on one of those little cards. It says it's from Germany. Here's a printable of some buttons. But never fear, I got you some real ones here. This is an old vintage button card. And this is the only one I had in the pinks. I had a bunch of different other ones that didn't look as good, but I thought this one looked really good with the pretty pinks and with the real pretty buttons here. So you could glue that down or do something with that. This is a cigarette card. And this is a vintage trading card, or some people call them advertising cards. And this is for a spool of thread. J&P coats. Anyway, aren't they cute? And this is just a tag that I started for you with some of the scrapbook paper I had. And I did back it up with some tea-dyed or coffee-dyed paper to make it a little stiffer. Because it was already pretty, it was pretty thick, but it needed to be a little thicker. Here's a recipe. And it's all in the pinks, and there's a little cat right here. This is just a little card here. It's not old, but I thought it looked pretty, and it's the right colors, and I love the little envelope. This is a clothing label. A bingo card. That's the, one of those little bitty thin ones. Here's one of those little postcards I have, and it's in the reds. That's why I picked that one. And this is just a digital of some tickets here. So there we go. That's what's included. So you guys, if you're interested in this and you are a subscriber here in the United States, please comment and say that you are a subscriber, and I will have a drawing next Tuesday, and then I'll mail this off to the winner. And it won't be live or anything, because I'm not going to ever do anything live. Oh, no telling what would happen on that. But anyway, I'll have it on there, and then I'll have, of course, the username, and then also I'll try to see if I can find her in the list and contact her that way. But if you do, hear your name on this, and what you could do is email me at JulesOfTyler@yahoo.com. Okay? All right, I think that is all I had to tell you and all I have to show you. So I hope you guys like it. It's just a cutesy little thing, and it belongs to a good home. Okay? So you guys have a good rest of the day, and try and stay warm. Okay? Thank you. Bye.